All right, what's going on today, YouTube? Welcome back to your favorite cyclist YouTube channel. This week, we're swapping out this single-piece crankset for a three-piece crankset. But before we get into today's video, if you are new to my channel, make sure you head down below, hit that subscribe button for me. If you already are subscribed, make sure you hit that bell icon right next to that. That way you get notified every time I upload. That way we don't miss any of this awesome content on this channel. So, like I said, we got our new BMX bike here, new to me BMX bike, my Framed Impact XL. And we gotta swap out the crankset on it today. So if you watched my last video where I introduced the bike and showed you what's all going on with it, you'll notice that, yeah, it's missing a whole pedal on that side. And that's because that whole crank arm snapped off. The whole end of it snapped off, and, well, can't really fix that. You can, but I'm not gonna fix that and risk breaking it again. So what we got today is essentially a whole three-piece crankset conversion, essentially is what I call it. So we'll be able to swap out this whole one-piece steel crankset here, which nothing horribly wrong with it, but nothing like deadly wrong with it. This just gives you a little bit stiffer bottom bracket feel, gets you sealed bearings. It's ultimately going to be a better crankset than this. So I ended up getting this setup here that has new cups with sealed bearings in them right here. Has everything you need for it. And I'd like to give a big thanks to sourcebmx.com. I actually reached out to them because I know nothing about BMX bikes. Very little. So I reached out to them and said, hey, this is what I got, and I want to convert this to a three-piece crankset. What do I even need? Because there's different bottom bracket standards for BMX bikes, and there's different ones for your regular bikes, and I wasn't sure what to order. I was pretty positive, but I wasn't sure. So I reached out to them. They confirmed that I was kind of right on with what I needed to get. So do you need BMX parts or even need help finding what BMX parts to get? Sourcebmx.com. Check them out. I'm not sponsored by them. They didn't provide the parts or anything. That's just kind of where I go to get help looking for BMX parts. I've gotten parts for my daughter's racing BMX bike there. Good place. Check them out. So we already got this broken. So pretty much what we need to do first, we need to get this whole old crankset off of here. Kind of step number one, obviously. So we need to pull the chain. We need to, I don't really need to touch the pedals because these pedals are not going to work with the three-piece cranks. I'll tell you that right now. So there is two different pedal standards. The ones on a single piece crank arm like this, where it's that solid steel skinniness, those are a 1/2-inch pedal thread. When you go to a three-piece crankset, you're gonna need a 9/16. So these pedals are not even gonna work anymore. And I honestly don't need to take them off because the cranks are gonna come out this side. So we need to get the chain off, loosen this whole bottom bracket off, pull it out. I believe we're gonna have to knock the cups out of here, I think. We'll figure that out as we go. But let's kind of go to that point. So we need to loosen these up, slide the rear wheel forward so we can pull the chain off. And let's start pulling this bottom bracket out. All right, so we got our chain removed on the other side. So we are free spinning there. Got to be careful. I just scratched myself on that on that broken crank arm. So we're gonna use a big old adjustable wrench here to grab this nut on the end that holds that whole crank arm together. And we're gonna find kind of our best angle to go for. And that guy is reverse threaded. So righty, loosey, lefty, tighty. So from there, we're just gonna remove that lock ring. There's a little washer underneath it. I'm gonna remove both of those guys. Now, depending on how tight this bottom bracket is, we can either just get a finger in there and just unscrew it that way, which is the case on this one. Or you may need to use like a screwdriver. There are special tools, but a flathead screwdriver works just fine in my experience. So go ahead, unscrew this guy all the way. This is our kind of our bearing race cup here. And you kind of want to hold the crank arm in because you have your ball bearings inside of here. These ones do happen to be caged, but you do have your ball bearings inside of here. So we'll get this guy all the way unscrewed. There we go. Pull that guy off. Set that off to the side. And then from there, we got greasy fingers. And we just pull, rotate our crank arm all the way out. Well, good thing that bottom bracket was toast anyways. Just lost a bunch of ball bearings. All we really need off of here is the chain ring, but we'll get to that in a minute. Once we get the new bottom bracket installed, we'll pull the chain ring off of here. So this is now the point where we're gonna have to kind of get into this here. So here's our new bearing cups here. Nice sealed bearings, nice and smooth. These guys are actually going to replace the cups in the frame. So you can see they don't fit in there inside of those current cups in there. So we're going to have to knock these cups out here. So there are specific tools for this. We're not going to use specific tools because I don't have them. Because I don't know if I mentioned before, I have actually never had to do this to a bike. Ever. Never had the need to do it. So, what we're going to do, you get a flathead screwdriver and a hammer. We're going to go ahead right up to the bearing cup on that side, and we're just going to start knocking it out. And we're going to, of course, want to go kind of around. Just like so. There's one cup out. So there's our old bearing cups out. That's what our ball bearings used to sit in, was those guys right there just inside the frame. Now that we got those out, these should, oh yeah, those are gonna go right in, easy. So those will just go right into the place of them on the frame. Super simply. We're gonna go ahead and kind of wipe this up some. Clean this out, might get some, a little bit of degreaser. Okay, so with our new bearing cups, so when you go to put these in, you want to make sure you're hitting the outside of here. You don't want to hit the actual bearings, because you will hate your life really badly. So, we're also going to use a dead blow that has a padded end to it. So in my case, we're going to use the dead blow that way we don't damage the cup, essentially, the thing we're pounding in. That way we don't damage that. It also happens to be the same size as the cup. I'm going to give it a couple taps. Tilt it all the way in, and sure our bearing still spins good. Oh yeah. Heck yeah. Look at that. There we go. So there is this spacer in here, right there, that actually goes in between our two cups. Kind of forgot about that. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna get that guy axle in there. Our bearing where we want it. All right. Now that that spacer's in there, we should be able to go ahead and okay, so now we got our bag full of spacers and our little bearing covers. So we got a thin side and a thick side. So which one fits better where? So we're going to try and space out our drive side first. So we're actually going to take off these covers on here, if I can get them off. So then we need to come back to our old crankset here. We need to take this chainring off, at least for the moment. We got to take this off. You know, we'll replace it later. But for now, we still need a chainring. So we need to take this guy off. So on here, there's a little lock ring kind of right in there. We need to get that off of there. So I happen to have a tool for this right here. Has a little tooth that hooks into there. And we should be able to loosen that guy right on off. Done. Our new one's not going to use this. It has a totally different method of attachment. And then from there, we can just pull our old chainring right off. Pretty simple, honestly. And then we got our new crank arm here. So the new crank arm, like I said, it's a little bit different. So it has a bolt here. So we need to undo this bolt. And what we're going to do is we're going to essentially line it up just like so. We're going to throw our bolt in here. And we're going to tighten this bolt up. Okay, so now we can get our little spacer here. Slip that onto our chain ring. What that's going to let us do is get everything aligned to the point where everything fits in nice and happy together, hopefully. There we are. Okay. Nice and tight for the chain ring. All right. So from there, we're going to slide that guy in there. Kind of got to figure out our chain lines. Okay, so I was editing the video. It looks like I lost some footage, so I will show you guys kind of what the next steps are to get your whole crankset set up. So pretty much the next step is to use the spacers that come in that kit. So you can see there's a few spacers there. You can actually see them on the non-drive side. I don't know if you can actually see them on the drive side or not, but they are there. Pretty much your goal with this, what you want to do next, is focus on the drive side of the bike, and you want to look at your chain line. So essentially you want your chain line to be as straight between your rear freewheel and your front cog up there. You want that to be as straight as possible. So you kind of want to mess with the spacers. Each bike's going to be a little bit different. You need to mess with the spacers, get your drive side kind of dialed in as close as you can to a kind of a perfectly straight chain line. Clip straighter the chain line, better the chain's going to flow, less chain wear, quieter chain, all sorts of good stuff. Highly recommend getting a straight chain line. Once you have that chain line straight and that kind of side is all set, you're then going to move over to the non-drive side, and you're essentially going to put the spacers you need in order to take up the rest of the shaft for the crank arms. So that's all you need to do. After that, you pretty much put the crank arms on. There's a bolt for each end right there. So you're just going to go ahead and pop that in there. Tighten that guy all the way down. That's going to pinch the two crank arms together on that shaft and hold everything nice and together. Now you can go too tight on those and pinch the bearings, so just kind of be aware. Once you get it to a good feeling where it still is easy to spin, it's not pinching on those bearings, you're set with those. Once those are tight, you just tighten up your pinch bolt on your crank arms on both sides. So there's one here, one there. All these are 6mm in my case. After that point, you're set for a test ride after that. And of course, like I mentioned at the beginning, you are going to need a different set of pedals. In this case, we got a set of Odysseys, twisted pedals here, and we just put those on there, a 9/16 thread pedal. So different thread pedals went on here. And from there, you're essentially set to ride your bike with a solid 3-piece crankset on there. So there we have it. We have a brand new crankset on there. Chain tension's a little tight, but again, tires are supposed to be coming. And I'm not riding this till I get tires because these tires scare me. So it doesn't matter too much. But brand new 3-piece crankset on this bike. Should be a lot stronger. Sealed bearings, so you don't have to worry about ball bearings or anything like that. And honestly, removal of this thing is the same as installation. Same as removing, your regular old one, that 1-piece. Now you essentially smack out the bearing cups and you're set to go. Kind of simple to do, honestly. So I think it's a good upgrade to do. Would I replace the 1-piece if it wasn't causing me problems? Probably not. I probably would have left the 1-piece for quite a while, but since it caused me problems, well, get a 3-piece crank right off the bat. So I think for this setup here, but if I remember right, for the cranks and the bottom bracket, pretty much the full setup you see, minus the chainring, because the chainring came from the old cranks, that cost me about $60 to $70 to do. So it's not the cheapest thing, but I feel like you get a lot of value and a lot of bang for going for the 3-piece over the 1-piece. So, bike's getting there. We're getting there. Once this bike is set, once you get some tires on here, get the brake to actually work, stuff like that, important things. Yeah, we'll take it to the park, take it to the skate park and see how it's going to work. For now, these things feel solid. No wiggle, no play. These aren't the most expensive ones. They're kind of the cheapest ones you can get. So we'll see how long things last, especially the bearings and stuff like that. But I think it's going to work great for me, especially with what this bike is, what I want this bike to do. So if you guys are interested in picking up this crankset and bottom bracket setup for yourself, I'm going to have a link in the description down below so you can pick one up. Again, if you have any questions about BMX stuff, I recommend sourcebmx.com. You talk to them. They have chat support. You can talk to them. They have tons of parts available as well, including a setup just like this. Probably a little bit better quality too than this setup here. So you can go find that setup, find everything on Source BMX. They didn't sponsor this video. I just find them a great help when it comes to BMX related things. If you guys enjoyed the video or at least found it entertaining, give this video a big thumbs up. Appreciate the support. Any comments or questions, let me know down in the comment section below. Love talking to you guys. Love answering questions you guys have. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching today.